Okay, it's time to tell you a couple new feature updates. We have one here. If you look under relationship section, you'll see artists. And this is a new section that we've added. So you'll see there's a couple that I put in there. You can also edit or delete the same way we've done with the other relationship sections, where you can add a new one. So you'll notice when you create a track, you'll see the artist field. So you can add a new one if you'd like by clicking on the add new, or select one you previously have entered. So what this will allow you to do is, with this track, you can associate with an artist. So if you were writing it and the artist was using it, you can put that artist in that field. And one of the important features of the artist is soon we'll be adding metadata to the audio downloads, so you can write the artist in the metadata. And also we're going to be creating a pitching platform, so you can pitch these tracks as an artist or as a composer. So that's one of the new features. Another thing we've updated is, you'll notice here there's an application section. So if you go in here, there's the reset application, right? We used to have that in a gearbox on the top right of the track filter. We moved that into here. The track list settings, this shows you what you want to display on the master track list in the front page. And there's a new section called Full Application Backup. And what this allows you to do is export all your data into a single file. So you could import this down the road if you wanted to make a backup, different things like that. The important thing is to look at what's included and what's excluded. So your user account information, your billing and subscription data, all your uploaded files, the audio and documents, they're not a part of it, and the usage metrics and analytics. But this is a really cool feature that I will be going more into down this video with the import section. So for now, this is just a way to give yourself a little bit of security and export all your data into a file. Okay, next up, if you go to tracks, you'll notice if I expand my track filter and try to export, you'll notice this looks just a little bit different. So export as CSV is still there, export as Excel is still there, and this new feature, export as ComCat. Now that's the same file format as we just went over with the backup. So if we look at this CSV, everything looks the same, except when you get down to relationships, there's an export format. There's a readable function, which will allow you to put it in a human readable form. So if you were getting a request from a publisher to send some metadata over, you would use this, and that would put it in a readable format. You would select re-importable. That gives it into a JSON format, which is more of a code. It's not very easy to read, but it allows you, it preserves all the data when you import it into your Composer catalog system. So let me give you an example of what's perfect for this. So those are the differences that you would select for the CSV file. Now as ComCat, if I exported this as a ComCat, it's the same as that backup I showed you. But what's really cool, I think, about this is that if you are writing with another co-writer, and you both decided, hey, I'm going to write all this information in my system, and you both have Composer catalog. The one would write all the information in their system, and then what they could do is set the filter for the tracks they just did with the co-writer, export the 3 tracks, export as ComCat, and then just click export, right? So you would download that, and now the co-writer, you could send it to your co-writer, and the co-writer would go to import and just drag and drop the ComCat file in there. And then all the tracks would be in their system, and not only the tracks, but the contact information. So if you had like eighth note swings, if you had all that information filled out, it's going to import that information too, right? So that's the cool feature about the ComCat. Now with the CSV imports and exports, if you tried to do the same thing, you would pretty much get everything except for the detail that you've added into these, like the contact information for any of those musicians, publishers, writers, right? So if it were me, I would always be using the ComCat format because it's just cleaner. It's one click and then everything gets exported, right? So that's a new feature we've added, this ComCat export. Again, you can still export as CSV, same deal, just make sure you click which one you'd like to do. And as always, you can, after you created your CSV file and that's the format you like, you can always save it as a template to bring up later. Another feature we've added in this new update is we really went in and looked at the import section as far as, are you importing any duplicates, or is there anything that's similar? So if I go, right now I've imported that ComCat that had the 3 tracks. So there's 3 tracks in my system. I'm going to go to import. I'm going to find that ComCat file, which has 3 identical tracks. It should be. So if I go in here, it's going to show that I'm importing the 3 tracks. Now you'll see that a modal pop-up comes up and it shows you that, hey, these 3 tracks, we found duplicates, right? And they're 100% equivalent, which means everything is the same. So at this point, you have a couple options. You can merge. So say you changed a couple things. I'll show this a little bit later. But if you change something, you can merge it, and that would update the existing track by merging data. So it's going to add whatever's different to that track. You can import it as new, and that would import the track, let's say all alone, but it would add a number at the end. So it would be all alone space 2. So you can import that as a new track, or just drop it, right? So if I continue to import with all 3 of these dropped, nothing's going to import. You can see here there's a apply one action to all. So if I hit merge, they all select the merge, import as new, or drop. So in this case, I'm just going to show you all alone. I'll import that as new, and that should import it as all alone space 2. So if I continue on with this import, you'll see all alone space 2 is there. And again, with this import section in the track filter, you can go back and it will show you your last import. So this creates a history of everything that you've imported. So in case I made a mistake and I wanted to get rid of all alone 2, I could just go to that track filter for import and then just delete. Now I'm going to show you an import from a CSV file I created. I'm going to drag and drop it here. The track title is called Darkness, and I've had all the I have all the fields filled in. Now, when you're importing a CSV, the only 3 required fields are track title, track genre, and the type of track it is, whether it's instrumental, work for hire, or vocals. That being said, I'm going to import this file. There's no pop-up comes up because there's no track that's called Darkness right now. Okay, so we'll see it's in there, Darkness. So what I did was I went in and made a copy of the CSV file, and the only thing I changed, let me expand these fields for you. The only thing I changed was the instrument. I changed it to banjo. So what we'll see the next import is it should show me that difference. So now when I try to import this CSV file that has that slight change, it's going to hit start. Now, duplicate tracks detected, it will tell me that one field differs from the existing track. The instrument section, there's some different fields in there. So what I could do is merge that, and I'll try that for this one. So I'm going to merge the data. If I continue to import, there's no audio files. So now if I go to Darkness, I believe it was called, you'll see that banjo has been appended to those instruments. So it merged it into that. So there's a couple different ways it handles duplicates, but the nice thing is it's going to tell you. So you're not going to duplicate your catalog. And like I said, even if you made any mistake, you just go into the import section, find the last one that you imported, and then you could either do a batch delete if you wanted to, or just delete the ones that you didn't need to. Okay, so that's the end for this feature update video. I hope you guys enjoy the additions that we've added to the program. Along the way, we found a couple bugs that we squashed also. And also, if you made it to the end of this video, I can tell you our next update will be adding metadata to the physical audio files. So when you download the files, metadata will be actually inserted into the physical files themselves. And then after that, on the docket would be a pitching platform. So then we could take the audio files, create a playlist, and then you can submit them to, a email destination, whether it be a publisher or artist, and they would be able to listen to your playlist, and it would have a reporting back end with tracking and to see if they opened up any of the files. So they're the 2 big things that are coming next that I think are really going to expand this program. So guys, I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions or any issues, always email support@composercatalog.com. Have a great day.